And then he uses this phrase that was pretty common. He says, you know that when the sky is lowering, when it's red in the evening, that the next day is going to be fair weather. And that in the morning when the sky is red, you know that the day is going to be bad weather. He says, you figured out how to forecast the weather. Now, they didn't have any of the instruments that we have. But this saying, red sky at night, sailors delight, or shepherds delight. Red sky in the morning, shepherds warning, or sailors warning, was pretty common. It's actually in a Shakespeare play too. Because they had kind of figured out that when the sky is red in the evening, it's a good indication that it's going to be nice the next day. Now that kind of sounds like an old wives' tale, right? Kind of sounds like something that somebody at Circle S would tell you, kind of like when they're like, weather's going to turn bad, my knee's swelling up, I can feel it, But there's actually a little bit of science behind that red sky in the evening, because as the sun is setting and it's pointing through, the light is coming through particles, moisture particles in the sky, it's a good indication that the high pressure system is moving out. When it's in the morning as the sun is rising, it's a good indication that it's moving in. The storm's moving in. So there's a little bit of science behind that. They didn't know that. They didn't know about water molecules or dust particles or high pressure systems, but they had been able to figure out by observation when these things happen, it means that most likely this will happen. And Jesus says, you've been able to discern the weather close enough to figure out when it's going to be bad weather or good weather. But you've not looked closely enough at the signs of the times to figure out what is happening right now. And what was happening, there were all of these prophecies that were being fulfilled, and Jesus was fulfilling all of them. He was showing them all these signs. He was accomplishing miracles and doing incredible things. There were all of these signs, and they were like, we need a little bit more of a sign. And Jesus' response to them might give us an indication to the response that God gives us today when we're like, God, I just need you to show me a sign. And God says, look around. Look around you. Don't you see? Don't you see everything? Now, in our world right now, when we look around, we might not be noticing so much the red sky, but we can sense that things are not as they ought to be.